In this video, I will show you one fun fact about every single demon list level currently in the Pointer Create demon list. This video took 30 hours to make, so I will appreciate it if you leave a like. Let's begin. Thinking Space 2 has an alternative version with different decoration and a slightly easier gameplay, named Thinking Space 2 Legacy. This was done because the creators wanted a level that better represent their original vision for a Thinking Space sequel. This version was verified by the player Seronium and is estimated to place between top 18 to top 27 in difficulty. Contrary to what some levels used to do to counter the use of CBF by adding a blocker at the beginning or end of the level, the creators of Flamewall came up with something known as the CBF buffer, which will slightly buff the level if it detected that CBF was being used. Amethyst has gone through many different versions over time, originally starting as a simple top 50 level, with completely different gameplay. It was also originally called the Amethyst instead of just Amethyst. This is because the level is considered to be an unofficial sequel to the level The Golden. Tidal Wave was updated about a year ago, with several optimization changes, which accidentally ended up slightly buffing one of the wave gaps. Later on, the level received another update intended to fix some issues related to 2.2, but once again it was accidentally buffed. This eventually resulted in 3 different versions of Tidal Wave. The original version verified by Zoink, the second version verified by Cervex, and the latest version recently verified by Jesse Gaming. After this was discovered, it sparked controversy within the community, ultimately leading the creator to revert the level back to the original version verified by Zoink. According to Minecraft and Zoink, a nerfed version of Orbit will be released soon. This version has the intention to be an easy extreme demon that can be enjoyed by anyone. Null Skips has a really interesting mechanic, where when you start the level, you do not start in Nullscapes, but rather you start in Charscapes, which is Nullscapes' prequel. This level traps you in Charscapes until certain conditions are met. After that, you can get to play Nullscapes for real. The problem is that if you play on practice mode, you can get soft lock in Charscapes forever. In one of Zoink's streamings, Raptor requested the first click of Quanteus processing to be nerfed in order to get the level rated. This was because Raptor apparently tried the level and could not get past the first click. Soon after, the level got rated anyways. Some people thought Bubba Wamba was secretly buffed after its verification, because the level in the servers had 21 more objects than the level that was verified originally. But the explanation for this was that the level was updated to backfix the last revolt. The every end background is actually way more complex than what you think. It was originally done before 2.2 and it was not actually made in the editor, but it was a script coded by Sputniks which replaced every block with decoration objects. Then the 2.2 added the feature No Touch and simplified this process. This was a speedrun level, which meant that both the creation and verification was done as fast as possible, with the creation process taking around 3.5 weeks and the verification process taking only 12 days. As an extra, this is the first extreme to ever use X-Step as a main zone. Silent Clubstep has an official remake made by the original creator, called Silent Clubster. This level is virtually impossible and uses the full Clubstep song. There is a player by the name of Halo Zombies who got the level in 33 rounds after 240 hours of playtime. For most people, this is the hardest level ever done in runs so far. Andromeda, which features a space team design, was verified during the Space Gauntlet contest. Sadly, due to the level being extremely difficult, it was not eligible to be included in the Gauntlet, although that honestly would have been really funny. Subsummit Vortex was originally placed as top 1 in the impossible level list back in 2020. Contrary to levels like Silent Clubstep or Sacropan Circles, this level was not nerfed when verified and now sits at 13th place in the demon list, with this version being identical to the one that was placed number 1 in the impossible level list. Anathema for some reason has jump indicators in some parts. Yeah, probably without them, this level will be easily top 1. Ashley Wave Trials is the longest standing level with no victors since its verification. Over 500 days passed after the level was verified, yet no one was willing to even attempt getting least percent on it. Avernus host held a creator contest for this level, which received 44 entries. The winner of the contest was the player Salamander, but for some reason they decided to use the part of Lollycat, which was second place in the contest for the final level. Accurant has a lot of different versions that contains significant change to its gameplay. The versions are the following. Original version. This version was intended to be verified by wolves. Despite being really hard, it was projected to be at least top 3. Dodge's version. This version had some nerfs and buffs to compensate with the difficulty. One Alpha Helix version, the easiest version with its difficulty being around Slaughterhouse. Cerberus version, the version that ended up being verified by Zoink. Zoink's version, a buff version by Zoink, which buffed multiple parts. Riot's version, the hardest version uploaded randomly by Riot. The difficulty of this version is around top 5. The player Vernon used to have a power on this level, but was replaced because of drama involving him. Menace features a song that was made by the creator of the level himself. Abyss of Darkness went through several different versions over time. The first version was the version that the player Dilstuk attempted to verify. The later versions introduced some gameplay changes, but most of the updates focus on the creation, with the most notable change being the end screen. Defeated Circles is a remake of an Impossible Grey 9 Circus level by the same name. The original version has shorter gameplay, while the new version improves a lot of the gameplay and extends the level a little bit. Tunnel of Despair was probably the most underrated demon list. When it was placed, the level was 20, but after some other players completed the level, Tunnel of Despair went from top 20 to top 5. Kyouchi is currently the hardest solo level in Geometry Dash. That means the Mishu created the gameplay, decorated the level, and verified the level, all by himself. All of this process took him 500,000 attempts. Because of its weird structure, the original version of Base After Base had multiple frame perfects, including some 360 FPS frame perfects. Most people don't know, but Sub-Terminal Point is the official sequel of the level Truefed, despite both levels looking completely different from each other. Slaughterhouse is the level with the weirdest jumps in the game. The most interesting ones are the following. Player Straw, who jumped from 9 circles. Player Biwi, who jumped from Cataclysm. Player Blythe, who jumped from Aku. There is an individual who is trying to jump from Deadlock with 93% and currently 420k attempts. There is an art of a rabbit character in Cosmos that is actually inspired by a Russian cartoon named, well, just you wait. The name of this level had the intention to be a joke, so people confuse it with the easy demon The Lightning Rod. The creator of the level had a 97% fail while verifying the level, which made him turn the level into an open verification. 7 months later, he got enough motivation again and ended up verifying the level. Despite its difficulty, Sorin's gameplay is completely spikeless. The power from 66 to 100% in Sakuban circles was at some point the top 1 challenge level in the challenge list. Demos has a completely different version from the one currently available on the servers, which was apparently also intended to be as an official sequel to Phobos. This version was fully finished, but due to drama surrounding the host of the level, Akira Kurisu, the project was eventually forgotten. A player named Sebas Lopez verified the level on 60Hz with massive nerfs. Some players have attempted to verify the unnerfed version, but no significant progress has been made so far. Ice in the Water was considered a memory demon. For this reason, it was the first level to surpass Limbo as the hardest memory demon. Some people did not like this, since they thought this level had not enough memory parts to be considered a memory demon. Similar to Orbit, Voltage will have an easier version that will be an easy extreme demon. The name of this version is Alto Voltaje and is currently under development. Similar to Flamewell, Kusetsu had a CBF buffer that increased the difficulty of the level. But this CBF version is so hard that could easily be top 3 difficulty. Through the Gates had an even harder version, with some parts that had one of the most unfair and inconsistent gameplays ever made. Firework holds the record for the shortest time spent at the top 1 spot on the demon list, lasting only 18 seconds before being dethroned by Slaughterhouse. Since Slaughterhouse's original verification was hacked, Firewall could have technically remained top 1 for around 45 days. Silent Lock is a remake of a really old impossible level that super buffed Deadlock. The gameplay of the original is mostly possible to do except for the first mini-wave spam part. Nomad has an interesting decoration theme, where the level switches from 2 completely different landscapes, being this a dry desert landscape to a more snowy one. There was a creator contest for this level, where one of the entries was a weird part with sonic wave decoration. Sadly, this part did not make it into the level. This level was created for the second creator contest held by the players Seronim. The contest theme was Contrast, and the level ended up in 6th place. There is also a secret wave that allows you to skip a huge chunk of the level. This level is inspired by one of the chapters in the game Super Meat Boy. The song used is a remix of the song Can't O Salt from this game. Convulsion is the hardest level made exclusively in 1.9. When Being Home was rated, it got spam voted to Easy Demon, and it stayed like that for a few hours. This level was created because there was a level named Colibor that was an official sequel of the level Safkiel and Catalyze. This level never got finished, so the player Bambi decided to make his own version of it. Minus Dry is a possible version of the level Silent Dry, made by CD Music. The original version is so hard that is currently placed at 456 in the impossible level list. If you enter the editor in Saul Goodman, you can find 2 giant monsters fighting each other. Apocalyptic Trilogy has an all different version with some gameplay change and way different decoration. This was the version that Sonics and Minecraft attempted to verify before the level getting remade. 7 Clubstep was made in just 1 week. Bocce, the verifier and gameplay creator of the Hallucination, made a 20 seconds long extension layout for this level, but for some reason this extension was not used in the final version. Combustion has one of the lowest objects counts in the current demon list, with only 23k objects used. This level is a remake of the famous level Deadly Clubstep by NetTeam. Currently, there are 3 versions of this level rated in the servers, those being Easy Deadly Clubstep, and Deadlier Clubstep. This level took 3 years since it was initially verified in August 2022. The level could have been top 10 if it was rated sooner. Despite being an unnerved Blade of Justice remake, this is not the hardest version of Blade of Justice that exists. That title goes to the old version of Blade of Justice, which is around Silent Clubstep difficulty. Despite not being so high on the demon list, Solar Flare has 89 60 FPS frame perfects. This is more than some levels in the top 10 like Every End or Flamewell. The Catacombs is a Sakupan Hall remake made in 1.9 GDPS that was made in 2019 with the intention to be the top 1 level made in 1.9. Limbo's last part has a total of 128 different patterns. You can memorize every single one of these patterns if you want to pass this part without multitasking. This was discovered by the player Braden Ball. Gaga Trondra has the most famous song ever used in Geometry Dash. Since the song used for this level, it's Problem by Ariana Grande, which has over 1 billion views. Belladonna had to be uploaded in the Cherry Team account in order to get rated, since one of the creators of the level was banned from getting creator points. It is possible to get over 50% in codependence without 2P mode. You can achieve this by doing extremely hard timings. Collapse is also a solo level that took the creator over 200 hours to both create and complete. Mayhem was originally way easier, but with the pass of time, it got super buffed. Somehow, the Verified managed to beat it without nerfing it, which is really weird since normally it happens the other way around. If you find the song of this level familiar, it is because the song was also used in one of the most famous levels in Geometry Dash, Blue Hell by Lassie. The first layout of the plunge was estimated to be a top 5 demon, but it was heavily nerfed to around torturous difficulty. Fracture Decoration Team is about a fusion between two well-known 9-circle levels, those being Arctic Lights and Bausha Vortex. Walter White was planned to be a top 5 level, and the player Enswich was attempting to verify it, but he ended up dropping the level. Soon later, the level got nerfed. Infinite Chaos is the last level of the creator Kadok's famous series of levels, those being Lucid Nightmares, Lucid Chaos, and now Infinite Chaos. All of them were mainlist levels at some point in time. According to its host, the unnerved version of Operation Evolution was harder than 2.1 Acheron. Damascus is one of the biggest collabs in the Demon List history, with 68 creators participating. The decoration of this level came from the most influential level that all of these players made. Dex Dark was made to be a remake of the level Lotus Flower. Used as this level, Dex Dark uses a Radiohead song and features an extremely unorthodox dual port. Static's Never Clear is the hardest level in the list to use 1.6 exclusive gameplay. The player Burrito Gamer made a par for this level, but it was replaced because of drama. Climax was placed at 50 in November 2023. Somehow, after 2 years in 2025, it managed to stay in the same placement. This level was made as a joke in 1 week, then it got extremely buffed and eventually verified. The level Trackings is named after a famous cookie brand from Brazil. The creator of the level, Emperor, dedicated this level to his dead father. In fact, the song of the level is a song that both Emperor and his father liked a lot. Warp Terminal is one of the most enjoyed levels in the Demon List, with an average enjoyment rating of 89 out of 100. These enjoyment ratings can be found in the spreadsheet linked in the description. Sinister Silence is the hardest level ever verified in low refresh rate. It was verified at 75 Hz by the player WW Donut. This level was inspired by the Extreme Demon Citra, made by Gear Bost. There is a way of skipping the blind jump of Cimmerian Shade at 56% by just holding right after this cube portal. Psychopath was the level that started the CBF controversy, since it was rated, but after a mod told wrapped up about the CBF verification, he decided to unrate it. The level had to be re-verified in order to get rated again. The unnerfed version of Arcturus looks like this. It was a former top impossible demon, but got heavily nerfed to be humanly possible. Diabolic Clubstep is a remake of a former impossible demon known as Satanic Clubstep. This level got remade and eventually verified by the player Seban, who also recently verified an even harder version of this level that is around Slaughterhouse difficulty. Beeline does not have a single frame perfect, which is quite rare for a list demon in these days. Sonic Wave Infinity got unrated for a few days because there was a trigger that could crash the game at 69%. The trigger was put there as a joke, but the verifier forgot to remove it. Tartarus has an old version named Silent Akbar, which is currently impossible to beat because it needs over 241 TPS for some jumps to work, and the TPS limit in this game is 240. The last cube in Coalescence is a series of randomly generated patterns that works thanks to the 2.2 random trigger. Since you can get multiple patterns, you will have to sight read your way through this part. The creator even coded his own program that helps you to memorize the patterns. Waterfall was originally planned as an antagonist for the level Firework, made by Cherry Team. The verifier of the Jet Engine completed this level as a jump from Sonic Wave. Jigsaw is the hardest level, beaten by a biological woman or cis woman. If this level was not rated earlier, it could have been placed at around top 20 to top 25, but it ended up not being even mainlist level. This level is a spin-off from Minecraft's Grid Letter series of levels. This level is not officially part of this series. Beratan Raka verification took 3,911 attempts, being this one of the lowest attempt count for a verification in the current demon list. This level was initially rated in 2022, but some people noticed that some of the decoration had trace assets from levels like Aerial Gleam. This made the level to get unrated for a long time until it was redecorated and re-verified in 2024. There is a secret wave on terminal rampancy that allows you to complete the level at 57%. In order to do this, you need to enable LDM mode. Duelist has an interesting decoration gimmick, where the top half of the level is glow style and the bottom half is modern decoration. The Golden has an unnerfed version, which its difficulty is higher than levels like Slaughterhouse and Sarcophagus Circles. It was verified in 2022 by the player Dobbin. Although this is the first recorded completion, the player Schreiber claimed to have beaten this version before, but he forgot to record it. At the beginning of 2.2, Oblivion had a bug that made the level impossible. In order to get a coin in Dream Step, you have to no-hit the credits at the end of the level. The name of this level came from the general opinion that Biprim's UFO gameplay is extremely bad. Network had a secret route that replaced the text to Acheron instead of Network. Verdant Landscape was considered the best extreme demon in 2022 by the official Geometry Dash Awards. Levigo was made with the intention to have a top 20 demon with a simplistic modern style decoration. This level is also heavily inspired by levels like Rust. There is a silent version of this level. Even though it's considered impossible, the gameplay is feasible to do for a human, so it might get verified in the near future. After a year, Atomic Cannon got a nerf update for some reason. Shuketsu was verified the same day as Abyss of Darkness. Because of this, the level did not get enough recognition. Check Steam has the hardest coin route in the whole Demon List history. This coin is a mini-wave span that increases the difficulty of the level drastically. One of the creators of this level promised that if the level got rated, he will try to beat it. After 120k attempts, he fulfilled his promise. The part that goes from 72 to 91% in Wobbling Machine is considered as the indisputably hardest 2P part of any GD level. Crystal Crusher is the only demon in the list to use both 2P player duels and off-sync duels. The reason this level was named like this was because people used to compare the creators' levels with Limbo, just because they were memory demons, saying something like, "This level is just like Limbo." But this level was around Promethean difficulty, but after getting updated, it got around the Golden difficulty. This level was projected to be a main list level, but since it took a year to get rated, it was only placed at 94th place. This level was a famous meme in the GD community for a long time. The origin of why this happened is unclear. Blood Echo is the only level in the Corridor series to get into the Demon List. Aerial Gleam had an old version that was finished, but since the decoration quality of this version was not as good as the creators wanted it to be, they decided to redecorate the level, which ended up with this amazing version that is currently in the servers. Disconnect is the sequel of the level Connect made by the same creator MC Crest. Disconnect has multiple references to Connect in its decoration. Void has the hardest ship part in a rated level in the whole game. According to the creator, he pretty much instantly knew how the level was going to be from decoration and gameplay right before falling asleep. This led to the level being finished really fast, in just 12 days. Henken is the hardest Polish mega collab, which could have been top 15 at its time, but it got rated 3 years later. Truefed at some point swapped places with Tartarus. If this had happened sooner, Truefed could have become a top 1, but sadly this never happened. Azure Blast is the first list demon with a song from the No Copyright Songs library. The song used is Lost by Tobu. Kinos could have been way different because before Nimpesta verified, the player combined was also verifying his own version of the level. This version was much easier than Nimpesta's version, and Combine even got 97%, but he gave up before verifying it. Fragile was updated multiple times because the low-detail version of the level accidentally nerfed some parts of the gameplay. Chrome Hearts was created by the same player who also created Ice Carbon Diablo X, Roadbows. This is considered by him to be the final level in the Ice Carbon series. Starlight Summit end screen highlights the icons of the first 3 victors, them being Dijon, Aeoner, and Bard Games. Esfera was inspired by the video game MapleStory. This Traction 19 playtesting and bug fixing took over 4 months to be finished, since the level initial state was terrible. In this, the creation changed styles heavily from its first showcase to the final product. Timelapse got updated on January 2026, and this update made the level at least 5 spots harder than when it was placed for the first time. The reason there are so many references to dental teams in Neutra is because the song comes from this album, which for some reason the topic of the album is about teeth. Through Dark Dimensions gameplay, you can listen to some sound effects. These sound effects sparked controversy because people did not want to listen sound effects in a classic level with such a good sound. The first victor of this level was a Somali player. Guideless Goblin was the first extreme demon to use the Geometrical Dominator sound in the game. Hard Machine original version was created in 1.6 as a challenge a friend proposed to its creator. His friend dared him to create a level harder than Ice Carbon Diablo X. Dissonance was the first legendary list-worthy level. Goober Rage stage verification video was originally posted on TikTok, since the verifier only used the social media. Because of cheating allegations, he had to post the video on YouTube. Also, this level was verified 4 times for some reason. This part in Crackhead circles, it's a little reference to the Michigan part in Bloodbath. Zodiac is currently the level with most pictures in the demon list, with over 100 players that had completed the level. Lotus Flower was initially planned to be around Slaughterhouse difficulty, but it got heavily nerfed. This level was made to be a Halloween surprise for October 31, 2023. The level got finished a week before this date, and the verifier only had a few days to beat it. Fortunately, he managed to verify quickly, and the level got published in October 2031. Axini is one of the few levels that uses 2.2 chips physics, which makes the level way harder because of how the physics of the inverse gravity chip works. Judgment Knights is the hardest level completed in both Luxembourg and Syria. The original name for this level was Sidestep, but the creator accidentally pressed the letter W, which is really close to the letter S in the keyboard, and the level ended up with the name White Step. Lithium uses the song Subterranean Society, which is made by the same producer who created the Practice Mode song Kular Nebula. Curious is a remake of the level Erebus, which has a gameplay extension. This extension was made by the same person who originally created the full Erebus layout, Elroy. Iris was a level created by 2 top players, but funnily enough, neither of them ended up verifying the level. Gallifors was originally planned to be a top 30, but it got heavily nerfed time later. Falsehood won the award for the best extreme demon in the game in 2020 during the official GD Awards of that year. This level is based on the video game Tower Defense Simulator. In fact, the sound of the level also came from this game. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope you found this video interesting. If you know any other cool facts about these levels, feel free to leave them in the comments. Bye.